discussion at the end of the class. So I wanted to sort of make sure that, I mean, some of us already have a meditation practice, but at least after this class, you can go away with maybe a little bit more to add to your meditation. So that's mostly what the class is about today, is doing some meditation practice and a little bit discussion at the end, which involves kind of a little bit more meditation on the four immeasurables, but using, as it says in the description, using mantra and visualization to kind of bring out within us the qualities of compassion, kindness, joy and equanimity, using the power of mantra. Om Mani Padme Hum is the mantra of compassion. So using that kind of helps to influence the mind in a way to open up the mind more in those qualities, kind of activate those more latent potentials of compassion that we have. So going through the next 2 or 3 weeks, we're going through this in a way where hopefully, you know, it might inform whatever practice you're doing already, or it might be something you can take away and do a little bit more. I mean, I know you're already doing a daily practice, Stan. You're familiar with some of these prayers. Diane, you're doing a practice too, but it might also add, hopefully, a little bit. Not daily. Okay, then. Well, might get you inspired to do a daily practice. I know Tel here is from Vajrapani, and she's also developing her daily practice. Robbie, what about you? Have you have a daily practice?
Yeah, I do the daily practice.
Can't hear Robbie.
Oh, can you hear me? Can you hear me okay now? Yeah, you can hear me? Yeah, I do daily practice.
Okay. Well, hopefully this will just kind of add or supplement to your daily practice, yeah? So let's get ourselves into a meditation position. And for this practice, you're going to need to, I'm going to share the screen with the practice. Share. Here. And we're very fortunate because we also have a tanka here, the four-arm Chenrezig, you know, the Buddha of compassion. So this is the deity that we're going to use as practice. There's different aspects of Chenrezig, but I thought for the purpose of this class, and it's more easy to visualize, I'll feel the presence with not so many heads and arms and like this, you know. So we're going to do the four-arm Chenrezig practice to try to activate a little bit more powerfully these four qualities of compassion, four immeasurable qualities in our mind. So let's take a few minutes just to settle into the body and the breath. And you can all see the screen okay from there? Yeah. So you might need to turn around a little bit. You might want to turn towards the screen so you're not crunching your neck. That might be better. So you can sometimes meditate, but then there'll be some reading and then back to sort of, contemplation. So let's just settle into just being in the body, doing a scan of the body. Starting for the crown and using breath and awareness just to move through the body and just release and relax any tension that we're holding. Opening up a little around the stomach, just breathing a little bit more deeply into the belly area so we can release and relax any tension around the belly. Soft, become more soft there. Taking a couple of minutes to just ground our energy with this, paying attention to the sensation of the sit bones on the cushion or on the chair. And just making sure with breath and awareness we've connected with the whole body. So we feel a bit more grounded, present in our body. Then to bring a bit more vitality, clarity to the mind, we do the 9-round breathing exercise. So for those of us who are new, it's a method to be able to cleanse the mind, just clear the mind, attachment energy, clingy energy, distracted energy, cleanse the mind of anger, irritation, aversion energy, and also cleansing the mind of a sort of not knowing nature and ignorance, a sort of inner blindedness that we have in relation to how we and others exist in phenomena. It's a sort of deeper layer of delusion that we have. So when we do this exercise, it reminds us that we're trying to work and reduce these 3 influences in the mind that sort of block our wisdom nature. They block our compassionate nature. So we bring the first finger, the right hand, closing off the left nostril. Inhale through the right, exhale through the left. And this here, we're kind of cleaning out attachment energy, agitation energy in the mind. That kind of mind that clings to thoughts, feelings, and emotions, hard to let go. So we're releasing them through the left nostril. We inhale through the right. And letting go that energy through the left. Keeping soft through the jaw, through the back of the throat. We do 3 times. Long, slow, deep inhalation. And exhale through the left. Like fog or smoke, letting go of the agitation energy in the mind. Then the opposite side, when you're ready, inhale through the left, long, slow, deep inhalation. Opening up more deeply through the tummy area. And exhale through the right, letting go of anger energy, aversion energy, irritation. Then we inhale through both nostrils and exhale what we call ignorance and energy not knowing in the mind, being unaware. And do 3 times. And just taking a few minutes to settle the mind a bit more deeply. Here we can either just pay attention to the basic clarity of the mind, if we can find that object, where the mind's at its clearest. And resting our awareness on there, our concentration on there. Or simply being with the inhalation and exhalation at the tip of the nostrils. To anchor our awareness there, again just settling the mind before we go into the main body, the meditation. So we do for a few minutes. So with the mind a little bit more settled, perhaps a little bit feeling a little bit more depth that we can bring to our meditation. Just reflect on what was the intention. What intention are we bringing to our practice? What intention do we want to bring into our practice? Clarifying that in our mind. So we come to meditation, I think, because we recognize for a large part of our lives, and there's a lot of part of our life, a lot of the day is taken up by taking care of the body. Eating, sleeping, exercising, working, so we have food, clothing, shelter. You know, if we really pay attention, we can see that most of the day is involved in that. Just taking care of the body, the needs of the body, which are kind of obvious, you know, very obvious to us. We feel discomfort quite quickly when we're cold, we're hungry, when we need to sleep, you know. But in meditation, what we want to do is become more sensitive to the needs of our mind. So when we come to meditation, we're coming to meditation with a sensitivity, recognizing that our mind also needs, in some ways, a lot of attention, you know, it's struggling. There's states in mind that are hard for us to stay on top of. That's why in the beginning we do this cleansing of the three main, what we call delusions, or challenging states of mind, troubled states of mind, that really cause us to have a kind of yo-yo type mind, you know, up and down, not really finding a stable inward happiness because of the presence of attachment, anger coming and going in the mind. Even if it's just a slight irritation, it disturbs the mind. And this is all coming from the deeper problem and ignorance, a kind of not really recognizing our true nature, not being in touch with that, being out of touch, out of harmony with who we really are, how we really exist on a deeper level. So when we do meditation, we're trying to work with these, what we call negative or disturbed states of mind, and simultaneously develop that which is harmonious to happiness, harmonious to peace, harmonious to our loving, soft nature. We need a powerful method to kind of wake up those deeper states of mind that we feel when we go more deeply into meditation. So visualization, mantra, relying on a kind of aspect, a deity that's a kind of embodies the qualities we want, somehow helps to wake up our inner latent qualities, our inner latent potentials. In this case, with this practice, we're using the Buddha of compassion. So think about what it is you want to transform through this meditation, bring into the week, what you want to transform through these next few classes, and see if we can make a little bit impact on reducing the negative states that we want to transform, and simultaneously waking up a little bit of a lighter, more open, compassionate mind. So in that space, we're going to imagine that we're in the presence of a very vast open sky that spreads out and kind of covers our whole consciousness. It goes for as long, as wide and far as our mind's eye can see. So our mind's absorbed in a kind of sky-like appearance. And like a rainbow appearing in that sky, just a few inches, a few feet in front of us, just like we would look up, but mentally what starts to appear, forming like a rainbow, is this image we see on the screen, the image of the Buddha of compassion. Seated on a lotus in moon cushion, with this beautiful white rainbow-like body. Everything's translucent, a bit like a rainbow or reflection on a clear body of water. His first two hands at his heart are holding what we call a wish-fulfilling jewel. It embodies this precious mind of bodhicitta, or compassion. The right hand is holding, there's two other hands. Right one holding a mala, a rosary, reminding us to recite the mantra of compassion, Om Mani Padme Hum. Through that mantra, we can really open up this capacity for the four immeasurable thoughts. So it's reminding us to do that. Left hand is holding a lotus, a fully opened lotus, signifying that Chenrezig's fully opened his capacity for compassion, for bodhicitta, and also for wisdom. And he's smiling upon me very softly, like a soft, sweet smile, soft eyes. We feel kind of embraced by that sort of moon-like soft energy. And around us, like grains of sand on a vast ocean, are all sentient beings, all present. We're all in the presence of Chenrezig, who's gazing equally upon me and all sentient beings, embracing me like a loving parent, loving friend. So refuge, the prayer we're going to recite, the refuge prayer. Maybe some of us don't have a clear spiritual refuge. So if we do, we can bring to mind our spiritual refuge. And if not, we think about, well, what is our spiritual refuge? What do we rely upon? Who do we rely upon when our mind's difficult, when life's difficult? We need a spiritual refuge. So in this case, for this practice, we're going to rely on Chenrezig and Buddha, Dharma and Sangha to support our mind, our heart, our being, our spiritual capacity in this meditation, for this practice. So think about, what is my spiritual refuge really? And do I need a spiritual refuge? And for the purpose of this class, at least temporarily, I'm taking refuge in Chenrezig and Buddha, Dharma and Sangha. So we recite twice in Tibetan. So even though we don't know it's a bit new, just feeling like the chants kind of wash over you and bring a sense of maybe comfort, a bit more clarity, a bit more presence to the practice. We'll do twice in Tibetan, once in English. Sangye chodan sogi chog namla jan Janju bardu dani kyabsu chi dagi chinsok gebe sonange Rola penjir sange drubarsho sange chodan sogi chognamla janju bardu dani kyabsuchi dagi chin sogi be Sonange drola penjir sange drubarshog. I take refuge until I'm enlightened in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Supreme Assembly. By my merits of generosity and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit transmigratory beings. So again, what we're doing here is making an affirmation, a strong affirmation aspiration to keep developing our mind in positive qualities that not only benefit ourselves, but eventually will benefit others. Some level of commitment to our spiritual practice. And here, this is where we reflect on the four immeasurables, just trying to blend our mind, harmonize a little bit with these qualities, the immeasurable infinite qualities that are the basis of what we call this precious mind of bodhicitta in the Tibetan tradition. Equanimity, the great equalizer, as we discussed last week. Trying to recognize, training our mind to recognize and feel a sameness with all beings. More of a connectedness with all beings. Like me, all beings want happiness, don't want suffering. That's the kind of essence of equanimity. Trying to awaken more and more that thought, that feeling, that interconnectedness with all beings on the basis of that thought, that awareness. So we recite the verse and just taking a moment to contemplate whatever we feel that means to us, whatever our understanding that is to us. How wonderful it would be, how wonderful if I and all sentient beings were to abide in equanimity, free from the closeness of attachment and the distance of hatred. May we abide in equanimity. I myself will cause this. Please, Guru Deity, bless me to be able to do this. Immeasurable loving kindness. So here we see, not just wishing others happiness, but to have the causes of happiness. So again, from the perspective of our mind, the Buddhist view of the mind is that we are responsible for creating our own happiness. It's something we create mentally, spiritually, emotionally. So not only how wonderful if I can create the cause of happiness, but may all beings create that. And the basis of that is practicing ethics, pure morality, non-harming. That much more we don't harm others, that much less harm we receive from others. So even we don't help others a lot, but simply by not harming, we offer them peace. A type of loving kindness, a peacefulness. Through not harming, where body, speech, and mind through negative thoughts, anger, strong attachment, desire. Instead, we just offer a peace, a kindness. So again, we recite the verse and taking a moment to reflect on our own understanding or just feeling we receive the blessing and loving kindness through reciting the verse. How wonderful it would be if I and all sentient beings were to have happiness and the causes of happiness. Maybe have happiness and its causes. I myself will cause this. Please, Guru Deity, bless me to be able to do this. Immeasurable compassion. A kind of softening of our mind towards suffering, any type of physical, mental, emotional suffering. May I and all beings be free from that. That's the essence of this verse. So again, we recite together. How wonderful it would be if I and all sentient beings were free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May we be free from suffering and its causes. I myself will cause this. Please, Guru Deity, bless me to be able to do this. The last one, immeasurable joyfulness. So as the essence is having joy in spiritual practice, joy in practicing virtue. And a kind of boundless joy, the more and more that we purify the mind, these three negative states, attachment, anger, wrong view of self, ignorance. That much more we release our minds, these negative states, that much more a natural joy. We get filled with more of a natural joy. Our sense of happiness and joy comes out. It's the nature of mind. So wishing this for ourselves and others, that innate sense of joy that we all have, once the mind's cleaned, more negative, disturbing states. How wonderful it would be if I and all sentient beings were never separated from the happiness of high rebirth and liberation. May we never be separated from these. I myself will cause this. Please, Guru Deity, bless me to be able to do this. So again, feeling the energy of Chinrizik there, actually trying to support our mind to open up these three qualities, these four qualities. So another aspect of practice to help the mind to, again, open up more, we offer what we call a mandala, a depiction of a universe or what we enjoy. These four immeasurables, they're like inner wells. They become our wealth when we develop, the more and more we develop them. But to create the cause for those, to awaken in our mind, we need to kind of open up, practice at sort of level of generosity, to create space in our mind to receive and embody those qualities. So we offer something called a mandala, a depiction of the universe, or whatever we're attached to, what we enjoy. Maybe a beautiful place, beautiful, delicious foods. Maybe we enjoy our house, you know, so much things in our house, we offer that comfort. So we imagine offering that, at least on the mental level now, to create, again, an inner space for our mind to receive and open up the qualities of these four immeasurables. So we'll chant the first prayer and then recite that second verse in English, trying to really imagine, visualize what we could offer that we really enjoy, that's ours, as well as what we don't own, but we enjoy to see. You know, maybe other people's gardens. Bringing that to mind and mentally offering to the Hari Chenrizig. Ozaji pogi jushimedo tramri rablingje nyedegyembadi sange jindu meteuwa yedrogun namdak the objects of my attachment, anger and ignorance, friends, enemies, strangers, body and resources. Without any sense of loss, I offer them. Please accept them well and bless me to spontaneously be freed from the three poisons. Taking a moment just to really imagine, bring to mind your offering. Iram Guru Ratna Mandala Gamneya Dayame. So now we imagine at the heart of Chenrizig, as we see in this image, seated on a moon cushion. The syllable Hri, the essence of compassion, surrounded by the mantra Om Mani Padme Hum at the heart of Chenrizig. And just like the syllables are sort of dancing or, you know, vibrating with the sound of the mantra. And from the heart of Chenrizig, a powerful shower of, you know, which embodies the qualities of joy, equanimity, love and compassion, flow through us, entering our crown, and filling us up with those four qualities. As we chant the mantra together, so we'll do a few together and just spend a few minutes chanting ourselves, just purifying. So what's heavy in our mind right now? What's our obstacles to feeling more love towards ourselves and others, more compassion, more kindness? What's blocking that in our mind? Feel that gets flushed out. And simultaneously, our whole being gets filled with this radiant, white, blissful energy of Chenrizig, embodying the essence, the meaning of the mantra. Om Mani Padme Hum, 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 Om Mani Padme mani pe mi, om 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 mani pe mi. Mani padme hum, Om 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 mani padme hum. So we feel taking a moment just to feel the energy of the mantra. See if it has a bit of an impact on your mind, to feel a bit more peaceful, more clarity, a bit more radiance. How does it influence your mind, your heart? From there, the Buddha, the embodiment of compassion, Shenrizik, slowly dissolves from top to bottom, small ball of radiant, blissful white light. Just like the brilliance of the full moon. Moves towards the crown of your head. And slowly dissolves, melting through our crown, influencing at the level of our body through the crown chakra, influencing the actions of your body. May they become more peaceful. May my actions be motivated by a sense of kindness and clarity. The white light moves down and moves into our throat chakra, filling our throat chakra, purifying our speech and influencing our speech to be more kind, more skillful. And it moves down into our heart chakra, filling our whole being, starts to fill up, so our whole being becomes kind of absorbed in this moon-like energy. Softening the edges in our heart as it fills up and just dissolves all our edges into light, boundless light. Just like the radiance of the moon, we just try and rest for a few minutes in that space. Your body, speech and mind become kind of unified with the quality of the four immeasurables. Okay. Any questions, comments? So Stan is to people online. No, Stan's just sharing. No. I'm wondering how you can. Maybe you can. Okay, so now I think that's now. Okay, so yes. Stan's got a. Stan's just sharing. I think yes. Sharing. Yeah. I so appreciate. I say this mantra all day long. In traffic, I know. Right, biking thousands of times all through the day. But, amazing. And it calms me down. It makes me just more patient and everything. It's so much benefit. See, isn't that a good advert for the mantra? I recommend it wholeheartedly. But my point was that it's so nice now. I went ahead and got the book you recommended to me of The Power of Mantra. Yes. And I presume this practice is in that. Yes. Yeah. And I almost started to read that, but I got really enthusiastic about Chenrezig and Om Mani Padme Hum. I started reciting it so much, but I didn't follow through and do the practice from the book as we did tonight. Yes. So it was really nice to do it and associate it with the benefits of receiving the cleansing from Chenrezig, the purification aspects of it. And much like Vajrasattva, even has some of the same qualities that it offers. Yes, yeah. And so I'm really pleased to experience that with you. Thank you for that. So I thought for, like Tel, who's joining, Robbie, I don't know, I'm not sure what your practice is, but it just gives you a little bit idea if you want to do a daily practice in this tradition. That's how it kind of looks, whether we do Medicine Buddha, we do Guru Shakyamuni Buddha, we do Tara. Vajrasattva's similar. We always have refuge, there's a few other components to Vajrasattva that are slightly different. But basically this is the outline of a basic Tibetan Buddhist practice that you would do on a daily basis. There's a couple of other components, but I didn't want to add everything all at once. It gets a lot. But even simply doing refuge, as I said in the meditation, we have to think about what is our spiritual refuge. So some of us are not young here. Most of us are not young here, right? So a couple of younger people online. But, for those of us here, we're not so on the young side, we're on the other side of life, So we have to think about, well, I'm young compared to some people, but yeah, I'm still on the other side of my life, the other half, crossed over. So we have to think about, what is our spiritual refuge? Do we have one, Or even, we're not older, but what do we use? What do we rely upon when the mind's difficult, And not just when the mind's difficult, but what do we rely upon to create more happiness in the mind? That's what we're talking about with spiritual refuge. So here, when we recite the refuge prayer, for those of us who have taken refuge, Stan's taking refuge, we remind ourselves that some of the qualities of the object of refuge, but even if we haven't taken refuge, there's a time, do I need more of a consistent, clear spiritual refuge? And what does that look like? And just trying to investigate that a little bit more, There's a lot of power in having a certain object of refuge, It doesn't matter what tradition. I'm not, of course, Buddhism, but from the Christian tradition, they have their objects of refuge. Each of them, they hold a power to help and protect our mind, and also to support the mind in development, protect during difficult times, and support the mind in its inner development. So it's something to think about. We have refuge all the time going on with food, clothing, shit. We have plenty of refuge. We know all about that with the body and the needs of the body. But the mind also needs a spiritual refuge, needs a support to grow and develop, and also sometimes for sort of protection, when we're struggling, something that we really rely on, a reliance. So that's why I wanted to include that refuge prayer. That's why we always have that at the beginning of Buddhist practice to remind us and connect with that. And of course, there's the outer refuge, which all the Buddhas, they embody all these kind of enlightened qualities, the perfection of wisdom and compassion. But there's also, we have those latent potentials in us. So when we recite refuge, we remember we have the outer refuge that we're relying on, but we also have to rely on our innate capacity to be able to transform our mind into more and more goodness, more and more wisdom. So reminding us of both of those. The more we take a sense of refuge in the outer objects, through the power of that, the more our inner refuge becomes stronger, our inner confidence that our mind can transform. Our mind can change. We can purify negative states, and the positive states become more and more powerful, So it gives a lot of self-confidence, in that. So, we do need, we need spiritual refuge, So it's something to think about if we don't have someone clearly already. And we might take refuge from a few different traditions, that's fine too, but what is our spiritual refuge, to get really clear, Has any of you taken refuge at all in one tradition or?
In Buddhist tradition.
Buddhist tradition, yes. Good.
Again, I'm not hearing too much.
But you caught that, yes.
Yeah.
And yourself? You taking a refuge in any tradition? No.
Right?
Well, not formally in Buddhist, but yes, I have.
Sorry, inside, in yourself, yeah?
Yes.
Oh, well, that's good, yeah. We have that to rely on, yeah. And of course, you didn't mention a lot about immeasurable, the other immeasurable, the second one. Last week we talked about equanimity. So just touching on, for the last few minutes, immeasurable loving kindness. So actually with all of these, in the Tibetan, typically when you read them in the Tibetan tradition, it just says, may all sentient beings, abide in equanimity. May all sentient beings have happiness. But I think for Westerners, because some of these prayers are very intuitive for Easterners, when they already have some devotion, some faith, the mind's a bit more healthy. But I feel for Westerners, we need to, first of all, wish those for ourselves. We need to sort of feel them for ourselves, a sort of loving kindness towards ourselves. We do need to find that kind place in ourselves towards, because, we're very easy, it's very easy. When we first meet the spiritual path, we can see these tendencies to be very tight with ourselves, very hard on ourselves, and so we need to soften that. That's a big part of entering into practice, softening that hardness and that limited sense of self that we have, and we tend to over-identify with that, So hopefully, through mantra recitation, it helps to open up a sort of self-kindness, self-acceptance. But it doesn't mean that we just don't do anything. It's, but a kindness within the context of our spiritual practice, a kindness within the context of continuing to develop our mind in good qualities. So that's why I mentioned, and we have to feel that, may I have happiness in the causes of happiness. What does that mean? May I start to understand how to create more within myself the causes of happiness. And one of these, the main one I mentioned in the meditation, where we actually start on the Buddhist path, is by trying to observe more clearly the actions of our body, speech and mind. And even if we can't help, but as Lama Zopa Rinpoche would say, even if you don't harm others with your body, speech and mind, you offer them so much peace. We might not be fully loved, but we're offering a non-harming. Because nobody wants other people's anger, other people's impatience, other people's kind of unkind words, So even if we can't say very kind of skillful speech, but we just don't say something that's unkind, sharp, not wanted, not well received, So like from the beginning, that's why in the very beginning, something to think, we think about always. We start with, when we take refuge, for example, when we find a spiritual refuge, is we take what we call we have the opportunity to take lay vows. No killing, no stealing, no lying,
no sexual misconduct, and no alcohol. Because all these can, certainly, of course, we can't maybe stop alcohol altogether, but if we take too much, we end up in a trouble. We end up just saying things that are not helpful, can be very harmful, So, but the other four, we can easily see how they're harmful, So actually starting to create, we start by creating the ground of ethics as a space for happiness. And that's actually offering ourselves a kindness, starting to work with the rough aspects of our mind through the speech, maybe through the mind, by observing our actions. And the mind starts to get slowly a little bit more peaceful when we start to, take these vows, try to observe them, try really not to harm. And slowly it starts to chip away at the delusions, The mind gets more and more peaceful. And this is like what we say, how we take care of our minds, take care of our happiness, take care of our future sense of self by observing some level of ethical conduct now as much as we can. So that's kind of the basis of loving kindness, trying to be more ethical in our behaviour and our actions of body, speech and mind, because that will create happiness for us in the future and happiness for others. There's many levels, of spiritual happiness. So we just can't really cover them all in this class, but that's the first sort of fundamental level, is trying to train the mind at least not to harm. And maybe by creating this container of maybe thinking about taking some vows or commitments in our life to really, train in non-harming. Be more aware of the actions of our body, speech and mind, how they create happiness and peace for us and for those around us. Any other questions, Robbie or Tel, or comments? Anything about the meditation? Is that quite different, Robbie, from the meditation you're doing on a daily basis?
Yeah, yes. It's a little bit, it's really nice to have you kind of be the guide so I can hear it. But like having the mantra, especially today, when I was trying to do my own meditation, I was very, very distracted through my own mind. And this today, just tonight, that really helped, like just to focus on that and to be in the present of that meditation was really, really helpful and really kind of resetting, even though I wanted to do it early this morning and kind of set the mood that day. It's good to be able to reset tonight and use that for the rest of the night.
Okay. Good, I'm happy to help. For these types of praxis, because the Tibetan Buddhist praxis are a little bit more extensive, We're not just sitting with the breath or doing something. They're a bit more, but the more you add, the more rich. So it takes a bit more time and patience, but you'll find there's a credible richness with these praxis, but we just need to be patient as we develop our meditation practice, But I think once you really connect, and that's why I think, as you're saying, Robbie, in the beginning, it's better to have these types guided, because it's not easy to guide ourselves in it until we're really familiar with some of the meaning in these different prayers and different aspects. So we need a little bit guidance, in the beginning to bring it to life. And then slowly, we can sort of do it ourselves, but we do need some guidance to get going so we can really bring it into our own practice. But I know Tel lives at Vajrapani, so she's done some parts of these praxis with me. So Tel's got some familiarity, but I think Tel, the 4 immeasurables are still a bit, still a new aspect for you, yeah? A little bit newer, a bit more extensive than we've done at Vajrapani before, yeah?
Yeah, definitely. I feel like all of it together cumulatively was really helpful to kind of structure the meditation in that way. I've never done the visualization or the absorption part of it, so that was really cool to do.
Good. Okay, thank you everyone for coming. We'll just do a very brief meditation. We're 5 minutes over, but we always dedicate. It's also good. So why we seal the energy of the meditation is because we want to make sure that positive energy we've created goes towards something really virtuous in the mind. So I'll just share the meditation now. It's just one dedication verse that we did last week. Again, getting you familiar with these kind of more Tibetan style meditations for those who want to build up this type of practice. So dedicating to actualize bodhicitta. So as I say, the 4 immeasurables are the sort of groundwork of this very sacred mind of bodhicitta. That's a kind of goal in the Buddhist path, you know, that the Buddha embodies. It's a very powerful awakening mind that just day and night wants to enlighten all sentient beings. So we need the groundwork of equanimity, you know, a love for beings, a deeper compassion for beings, and a kind of joy that really carries us through our path, you know, through our spiritual practice. So on the basis of that, then may we all awaken, maybe if it's not this life, but future lives, creating strong seeds and imprints to awaken this precious mind of bodhicitta that we see embodied in the great masters, you know, like His Holiness the Dalai Lama, my teacher Lama Zopa Rinpoche. You would say definitely like even St. Francis of Assisi, you know, these great, not just from the Tibetan Buddhist tradition, but great masters who really have such a profound influence on other beings just by their presence, because they embody that quality. So we all can do that. It's just like how much effort we're going to put into it, you know. So we always dedicate and seal that may ripen eventually in us, you know, through all our different practices and prayers. Chanchu senchu rinpoche, magi panam gegyershe, ye pa nyampa me pa ye, gone gondu pelwarshu. May the precious supreme bodhicitta, not yet born, arise. May that arisen not decline, but increase more and more. Okay, thank you everyone.
Thank you.
Hopefully we'll see you next week. We'll just do something similar, but maybe adding a little bit more, you know, just slightly more every week, so you get the full practice. We've got 2 more weeks. Okay. Thank you. Enjoy your week.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.